Want a drink that's going to wake you up and you up? The Espresso Martini is for you. We'll show you the traditional Espresso Martini recipe at home. Then we'll head out to 3 different bars in the area to see how they make them. First, we'll check out Point B in West Knoxville. Then we'll revisit Brother Wolf in downtown Knoxville. You may remember them from the Negroni episode of One Drink, 3 Bars. Finally, we'll finish up at the Bristol Casino just over the Virginia state line. I've seen lots of variations on this drink. I'm going to use Steve the Bartender's cocktail guide. He uses the classic recipe that has vodka, coffee liqueur, espresso, and simple syrup. He and I both are going to be using Mr. Black coffee liqueur. You can use Kahlua, but Kahlua is way sweeter, so I would advise just skipping the simple syrup if you use Kahlua. As you can see, I have brewed my own espresso at home in this handy little machine. And I've even tried this with store-bought cold brew coffee. It worked, the drink tasted fine, but the foam wasn't as good as what you get from freshly brewed espresso. We're going to start out with 2 ounces or about 60 milliliters of vodka. A half ounce or about 15 milliliters of our Mr. Black coffee liqueur. Half an ounce of simple syrup. Another thing I like about using something that doesn't have much of its own sweetener is you can dial the sweetness to your preferences. But like I said, I'm going by the book. It actually says 1/4 of an ounce, so we're going to do 1/4 of an ounce of the simple syrup. Finally, I'm going to add the espresso. I brewed this maybe 10 minutes ago, so it's cooled off a little, which is good. It won't melt the ice too quickly and over dilute our cocktail. And 2 of the important things to get your nice foam on this are using a high quality fresh espresso, as I said, and shaking it pretty hard. I'm gonna double strain it. Uh-oh. Alright, other than it overflowing a little bit, I think that came out great. That foam looks awesome. And I'm going to garnish it with the traditional garnish for this cocktail, 3 coffee beans that stand for health, wealth, and happiness. I did go a bit heavier on the espresso than they said. I made a double shot and I just dumped it all in here. That's why it overflowed. But I do like mine to have kind of like a stronger coffee flavor than like a sugary flavor, so it works for me. But if you truly wanted to go by the book, I'd recommend measuring or just doing a single shot. Now let's head out to 3 different bars and see what kind of different variations on this we can find. Point B was really awesome. Cecil and Nick were awesome bartenders. This is Cecil making their espresso martini with Tito's vodka, local K-brew coffee, as well as house-made coffee liqueur. It basically tastes like a nice strong coffee with a little booze and sweetener in it, so right up my alley. We are back in downtown Knoxville, specifically in the Old City, and we're going to revisit a place we've been to before on this channel. It's called Brother Wolf. It was on the Negroni episode. They made an awesome riff on the Negroni. It was a white Negroni. It was different, it was refreshing, and they were super nice and tolerant of me having my annoying little channel. So let's head back there and see what their espresso martini is like.
Hi, my name is AJ Tierney. I'm a bar manager at Brother Wolf, and I truly believe, and I don't think I'm being cocky, that we have the best espresso martini in Knoxville, Tennessee. So I'm going to make that for you guys today. We start off with honeybee espresso, and we make it to order every time. So we grind the coffee beans and make fresh espresso. And then we use Borghetti, which I think is a better espresso liqueur alternative to Kahlua, which is much more common. That's going to be 1.5 ounces of Burgetti. And then we use Sunrise Dairy Heavy Cream, and this is great quality cream. And together, those three simple ingredients, I think, make the best espresso martini. It's important to, pardon my French, shake the shit out of it. There you go. Enjoy.
Third place we visited is an interesting one. What used to be a dead mall, like many other malls these days, is being replaced by a casino and eventually a full resort. While they're building the Hard Rock Casino and Resort, they're using one of the old department stores as a temporary casino. It's actually pretty impressive. It's fun to drink and gamble in the very same place that people once shopped for underwear and trousers. Let's go inside and see what kind of espresso martini they have. This is the espresso martini at Mr. Lucky's inside the future home of Hard Rock Casino. It was actually on the menu. It's a textbook espresso martini with Grey Goose vodka, Kahlua, espresso, and coffee beans. It tastes pretty good, but I couldn't help but notice the amount of foam isn't as high as what I get on mine at home, and it's probably because they may have used cold brew instead of fresh espresso. Just a guess. Cheers. All three of the espresso martinis were pretty good. They all had a nice espresso flavor without being too sweet. Price-wise, they were about the same, running us $13 to $15. These days, that's the going rate for a craft cocktail in this area. Point B's was great because it used a house-made coffee liqueur as well as local coffee from K-Brew. It was coffee forward and had just the right amount of sweetness. The garnish was the traditional 3 coffee beans. Cecil and Nick were awesome bartenders, and we tried several of their other concoctions. We'll be going back there soon. Brother Wolf didn't disappoint either. AJ made her espresso martini with honeybee coffee, also local to Knoxville. She used Burgetti coffee liqueur and added cream. She mentioned that many people add another spirit to this lower proof option. A popular choice is vodka. Some have gotten more creative and asked for tequila. She garnished it with 1 coffee bean. That got me thinking, if I could only choose health, wealth, or happiness, which would I choose? Which would you choose? Let me know in a comment below. Finally, I tried the espresso martini at the Bristol Casino, since it just happened to be on the menu at their restaurant, Mr. Lucky's. It was a textbook version a lot like mine. It was good and kept me awake long enough to lose a few bucks on video poker after dinner. Which one did you think was the best? Do you like mixing caffeine and alcohol, or are you smart enough not to? Leave a comment below and let me know. As always, thank you for watching and consider subscribing if you enjoyed this content. See you next time!